Let's sit on our mats. You may notice this big blanket I've laid down. This is just my own ritual where I sometimes get a little reliant or complacent with my sticky mat. And this just enables me to revisit what it feels like when I have to engage differently so that my appendages aren't sliding all over the place. So basically I have put this island of padding underneath. I've got two mats, one next to the other with a blanket laid over top. So this is just what I'm up to. I'd share what the rationale is. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. Sukhasana, just crisscross applesauce is what I call my younger friends. That's the terminology we use. And we're just going to come into a long spine. Just drop in. Say hello to the morning. Comfortably place your hands, palms facing down on your thighs. Notice if it's very uncomfortable to sit like this, you can always prop yourself up. Giving yourself some added height helps you develop the muscle control and the core engagement needed to sit in a neutral spine. And as you exhale, see if you can think of descending your groins. So the creases of the hip, just you can soften there a little bit, let them drop down, nuzzling in the sitting bones into the floor a little bit. And inhale, we're going to float the arms up, eyes can open into cactus arms. Exhale, we're going to draw the arms together. Forearms press, elbows lift, separate your arms apart or your hands apart. And we're going to press the base of the forearms together for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, lift the elbows a little higher, and 1, release and open. Inhale, exhale, let's repeat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and open. And last one. Arms draw together, separate the hands, squeeze 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we're going to float the right hand down and just circle the left arm up and over. Taking a deep breath in, just inviting some spaciousness across the side ribs. And then we're going to take that left hand and press into the belly of the thigh and just give yourself a little bit of decompression. As you press the thigh away, you can start to turn the left shoulder towards the right knee. Just staying with the sensations here, just the name of the game today is really to enjoy the sensations of having a body. So it's not about looking a certain way or getting into a certain form, but it's really this lovely celebration of human sensation. We're going to float the other arm up and over, find your side stretch. Get heavy in the opposite hip that you're leaning toward. Deep breath in, and then exhale. Let's find that compression. So as I'm pushing into the belly of the thigh, kind of moving the skin from the inside to the outside, coming into a little bit of a rotation through my trunk. So that think of the navel scooping underneath your left ribs, right shoulder to left knee. Loosening any tension in the jaw, perhaps finding a soft grin. And on your next exhalation, releasing back to center. So for fun, we're going to try to stack one leg on top of the other. Now, the name of the game today is we're going to try to just do this without our hands. Really getting into the very unsexy word, but popular these days, mobility. So mobility is not a sexy word, but it is a very sexy experience. So we're going to work on that, strengthening and targeting regions of the body without help from another area of the body. So placing the hands together, gently pressing them together. Again, pressing the inner hands, leaving the thumbs open, opening across the shoulder heads. And you're just going to come forward, just to test how that feels. Good. And then fingertips just kind of graze back as a kickstand, and you're going to come into boat pose, Navasana. Option 1 is to keep your knees bent. Option 2 is to extend. So you can choose which option you like. Then we're going to reverse that, place the left over the right. Now, if that is just not accessible, just cross your legs. You can take one or the other. I'm going to stack my left ankle over my right knee, hands come together, inhale, and now you might notice you're a bit stiff. And it's not about pushing past that stiffness, it's just going to the edges, coming back into the press. Good. And one more time. Right stacks over left, hands come together, inhale for length, exhale to press forward. Feeling the sensations across the hips, allow hips. And extend the legs out, switching sides. Inhale to grow nice and long. Exhale to come forward. And ourselves fingertip to the floor. Now from there, we're going to go into a 90-90. So we're going to open the legs into 290 degrees. Sometimes this is called deer pose. So we're going to parallel the shin at the top of the mat, and the back leg comes straight up from the hip and straight back. So we're creating 290-degree angles. So let's take a moment to try to center ourselves, because you'll notice that our weight naturally wants to lean and list into that front hip. So we'll try to rebalance it as best we can by pressing both legs down into the floor. This is very active. So as we do that, we place our hands to heart center. Inhale to just do a little mini back bend, lifting your heart up to the ceiling. Exhale to start to investigate a forward bend. Press into the legs and come up. Okay, let's try that one more time. Pressing into the legs, stepping forward. And press into that back leg to come up. Last one. Inhale forward. And exhale up. Good. Now keeping our hands pressed together for moral support, let's lift that back heel off the floor. Now it can be millimeters. It doesn't have to be high. It's just activating through the glutes. Good. And then set it down. Lift the knee and ground the left inner heel into the floor. So I'm hovering that knee over the ground for 3, 2, 1. Good. And then just softly just give yourself one little last forward bend. Now we're going to come into a center position and just pause and Upavishtakonasana here. So you start to press the heels away from you. Maybe you straighten the legs, maybe you don't, but you just go to those edges of sensation across the legs. See how one side feels relative to the other. So start to just explore any sort of circular movements. Knees can be bent, shoulders can be soft. And start to explore where you might be locked up, where you might be gripping on, holding on to any tension. And be gentle, very, very gentle. Nothing ever forced. The body will never, those fibers are not going to open up for us if they feel scared. So we're just saying good morning, hello, how are you? Using this very organic pattern, circles and undulations. No straight lines here. Good. And then we'll start to pull the heels up. The whole sole of the foot can touch the floor. And we're going to slowly rotate to the opposite side. Palms come together. Inhale, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, start to ground through both legs, tip forward, just to the point of resistance. Give it a little bit of load and come up. 2 more times. Holding forward, ground through the legs to come up. And last one, moving forward. Push, push, push through the legs to come up. And inhale, lift the heel, hovering it off the floor. 3, 2, 1, ground it down, lift your knee. Invite this frontal hip bone forward, keep the knee lifted. 3, 2, 1, rest it down, ground the full legs, making equal distribution of weight, tipping forward for your last one. Good, and then slowly come up. Coming back to center, press through your legs. If you'd like to tip forward, we're hinging at the pelvis. It's all about trying to keep our natural lumbar curve. So don't feel like the legs need to be anywhere other than what helps facilitate a long spine. And again, breaking form, just move intuitively. If you're not used to moving like this, just treat it like a little bit of an experiment. What do I gain? What do I lose? Dropping into the awareness of the sensations. How does one side react to this relative to the other side? Good. Then we're going to assemble the legs, scoop them off to one side. Coming into a down dog. So we'll plant our hands at the top of the mat, roll the toes back, lift the hips, send the hips up and back. Just appreciating the lack of novelty with this pose. It's like home. Shaking out your head. On an inhale, we'll pick up the right hand and feel down the left shin until you feel like you've reached your maximum capacity for stretch. Then you're going to turn your gaze up and over your left armpit. Just pedaling through the feet, shifting the hips, trying to find that length by dragging your sitting bones up the wall behind you. And then exhale, switching sides, staying really aware of your breathing pattern. Balancing that exhalation with the inhalation. You do 2 more just like this, rotating from side to side. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is static. This is just an exploration of human sensations and how excited we are to have a body to be able to feel these things. On your next exhalation, we're going to step that right foot forward, and we're going to lower the left knee down, coming into a low lunge. And then finger-tipping the floor here, we're just going to rock back and forth 3 sets. Again, you can roll through the foot, just working some mobility in the ankle. Roll through the back foot, the outer edges, the inner edges. If you want to drive with the heel. Again, very intuitive. Rocks. Feel what it feels to have a level pelvis and then let it shift out of alignment. And then exhale, we'll plant the hands down, step back into a plank. Take a minute to pause. We're going to come down to a forearm plank. Pressing the palms together, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Press the belly of the forearm into the floor, and then start to dip your buttocks towards your heels. You might want to lift your hips up a little bit, a couple millimeters. And then exhale, see if you can stand back up to plank and shift into down dog. That might have been a lot. You can always come down to your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, stepping forward onto the left side, right knee down. And we're going to explore that same path on the other side. So allowing the foot to fully circle as you rock back and forth. I'm doing the same as I push through the ball of my right foot. Getting into the hips, getting into the hamstrings. Just a little diagnostic. Plant the hands at the top of the mat. Let's meet back and down. Now inhale, lift the heels. Start to shift forward into plank. Exhale, come all the way down to your mat. You can always drop your knees. We're going to slide the hands forward into Sphinx. So basically you're creating a box with your forearms parallel. Inhale to lift the heart up. Shoulder blades down the back towards your waist. Now hug those elbows in, like that first action that we did at the beginning of this practice. Hug the elbows together and fan and press the palms outward. Good. Tops of the feet press down. Don't forget to breathe. Then exhale, let's curl the toes under, pressing up, taking a child's pose or a down dog. Good, and let's all meet in down dog. Inhale, heels lift up, gaze forward. Exhale, we're gonna bend the knees, start to walk the hands between the feet. I'll just turn. We're gonna start into a yogic squat. So heel toe the feet together, and we're gonna do some ballet style turnout here. We'll drop. It's actually more natural turn. So whatever, if your toes are out here, like a penguin, just bring them into bed. Now, elbow creases up, palms beaming towards the sky. We're going to play a little game here. So as we press the arms into the thighs are going to press back into the arms, the triceps. And we're going to feel this activation in our hip girdle. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now shift your weight over to the right, keep that connection. And then we're gonna do the same, but just off-centered. So left leg pressing into left arm for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming back to center and switching sides. So shifting your weight to the opposite side, make this connection between the right leg and right arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, plant your hands. We'll walk the feet in. Stepping back into down dog. Coming into a vinyasa. Shifting forward, inhale, exhale all the way down to the mat. You'll lower your knees. Coming into a baby cobra, full cobra, inhale. Elbows coming together, shoulder heads open. Exhale, rolling the toes back. Downward dog. Inhale, heels lift. Gaze forward, walk to the top of the mat. We're gonna send our seats down, coming in Ustrasana. So we're coming into our thunderbolt. This is a powerful pose. Thighs hugging in. We're going to transfer the weight onto the left, pick up the right. Coming into a little figure 4 here. Good, press the hands together. Press, 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 press. Ankle pressing into the belly of the thigh of the working leg, or standing leg rather. And then see if we can stand up. Good. Now we're gonna pick that foot up and send it forward, parallel leg. Balancing here, opening up the leg to the sides. Shift my position here. So we're going from here, opening up the book. If you have a little wall or something, you need just as a little bit of stabilizer, do it. Without our hands, press into your palms. See if you can press into the fleshy thigh of the standing leg. This can be here, this can be down here, just not on the joint. So you just want to stay clear of the knee. Toes pointing forward at the standing leg as best you can. Good, coming into our trees. Float it back up. Rotating it forward and taking a little break. Good. Let's flow. Inhale, floating the arms up. Gaze up. Exhale, diving forward, hinging at your hips. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping back into plank. Moving through a chaturanga. Inhale into your cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And pedaling the feet a little. See how things are loosening up. How is the sensation shifting? Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend your knees, walk back to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, Uttanasana. Now grounding through the legs, send the hips back, finding our way back to Thunderbolt. Feel the power and heat generation of this position. Placing the hands at heart center, press them together to create this stability, shifting the weight and attention into your standing leg, your right leg, coming into this figure 4 position. Sending the hips back, finding length in your low back, softening something. This is just yoga. This is not life or death, brain surgery or anything. So relax your face, breathing here. You got this. I know. And then slowly come up. Feel the strength of that leg. Pull back the working leg, float it up. Hands still pressing together. Inhale to lengthen through that standing leg. See if we're collapsing into it. See if you can lift out of it a little bit more. Open the leg up like a book. Hinging that hip, so folding the buttock down, the left side. Beautiful, Florence. Breathing here. Good. Circling it back. Release it down. Good. Just moving the hips. Good. Giving yourself permission to sort of break form. Right to the top of the mat, we'll flow. Inhale to lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back. This time we'll pause. We're going to come back into forearm plank. Oh boy, oh boy. So as we come into forearm plank, we're going to walk the feet forward, shifting into a dolphin. The ears come between the arms, really hugging the elbows in, hug the elbows in, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and then we'll just walk back. Let's not get stuck in one position, stuck in our thoughts that this is hard. It's sensation, and we're experimenting with different intensities, different comfort levels. Let's just be here. A couple more rounds. Getting stronger. That's cool. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release down. Just place your arms by your side and experience the sensation of relief. Slowly on your next inhalation, fingertips underneath the shoulder heads, feel your chest away. Press into all fours and extend that right leg back, keeping it parallel. Exhale to swing it through, coming into second set of low lunge. You're gonna bring the arms up. This will be a hands-free exercise. Open the left one up like a book. This one can just gently rest. See if this back leg will bend. We're not grabbing it. Instead, we'll see if this hand can reach for the inner heel. It may or it may not. Doesn't matter. Just focus your attention on activation through that back left hamstring and paralleling the leg. So the action is this. Left knee drags in towards the midline of the mat as the left inner heel pushes out. And feel for this left frontal hip bone. See if it can move up on you a little bit. Just descend the buttock flesh down towards your knee. You really want to get into the deeper levels of awareness here. If you're seeking length, you can extend the arm up. See if you can find a little more length between your pubic bone and navel, like you're tightening up a bed sheet. And then exhale, let's release that down carefully. We'll plant the hands and take it to a down dog, pedaling the feet, opening up that hamstring a bit. Oh, yes. Good. Exhale down to the knees. Bring that left leg up. Exhale, stepping it through, low lunge. Coming to the other side. Ready? Draw the arms up. Exhale, open that right arm up as you bend the right knee. So try this one. Start to drag the left hip crease back, right hip forward. Hugging those knees in towards the midline. Activating all of the major muscles of the legs. And just gentle pressure. If you're making contact with palm and inner heel, then there's just a gentle relationship. They're getting really cozy with each other. No force, no rush. This is a lifestyle. Staying with it. 2. That unmade bed sheet, pull it tight. Full expression, 1, and then slowly release. Plant the hands down. And take a child's pose. Just enjoying those moments of pause again to scan your body for the most comfortable part, most uncomfortable part, whatever is revealing itself. Just conducting little experiments. So ground through the hands, exhale, let's find our way back to down dog. Inhale, heels lift, gaze forward. Exhale, walk the hands forward, drag those palms back. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale, forward fold. Grounding down, knees bent, all the way up to standing. Drop your gaze past your thumbs, looking beyond the million miles away. Exhale through someone sleepy. As we press those palms together, second set, let's lift that right leg up. Pulling up out of our standing leg, exhale, open. Stay pressing together, open the chest. Feel all four corners of the feet working. Wobbles are welcome. Wobbles mean we're getting stronger, creating new neural pathways. Yes. So we're going to draw this back. Hug those elbows in, or elbows of the legs, knees. And so from the side, we're coming back into Nadarajasana without hands. We're not going to grab it. So let's do that again. Arms forward. Seek length. Seek ease. And we're going to just use it there as a reminder of that knee drawing in and the heel drawing out. Lift the muscle off the knee of the standing leg. Make sure it's doing its job. Breathing here. 5, 4, ungrip the toes. And 1. Now, we'll release it forward. And come down. Good. Coming to the other side. Let's pick up that left leg. Palms together. Finding that length. Exhale, open your book. Strong standing leg. I always like to turn out my leg a little bit, so I always have to self-correct. A parallel foot is that the outer foot is actually in line with the edge of your mat, the short edge of your mat. Yikes. Good. So from here, bring it back. Send it into dancer. Take the arms forward. Open it up. Making connection there. Always use the wall if you need a little bit of a brace, and then always test when you can stand on your own. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, full expression. Buttock flesh downward, frontal hip bones upwards towards your floating ribs. 1, and then exhale. Bring it up, reach it out, and down. Let's flow. Breathe the arms up. Inhale. Drop your gaze past your thumbs. Exhale. Hinging forward like a diver. Draw your gaze to your navel. Inhale, halfway lift. Press into the shins if that feels nice. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping back to a brief down dog. Now inhale, we're going to shift forward into plank. Okay, don't hate me. This is all about sensation, investigations. Here we go. We're going to do a hovering pigeon. Inhale, pick up your right foot. Don't think, just do. Exhale, take your right knee to your right tricep, and then put that, set up the leg like you're going to do a pigeon. So for those of you who need a reminder, this is pigeon, right? Instead of doing this, we're going to hover it and do this pigeon just floating over the ground. Breathing here for 3. Notice where you feel the sensation. 2, is the sensation hurting you or helping you? And 1, now we're going to set it down. Hallelujah. Walk the feet back. Now instead of this like juicy passive stretch, we're going to stay working without our hands. So press into the floor. You can lift your hips off of the ground. Place your hands at heart center. Top of the left foot pressing. Maybe you float the left knee off of the mat entirely. Whatever you're doing, you're activating the muscles of both legs evenly. And just noticing when we start to feel weakness. Do we feel a change in temperature? How do we know when we're at our limit? How does it show up? How does our body tell us it's had enough? And when does the mind step in and tell us it's had enough? Is it true? Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Plant your hands, curl the toes. We did it. Stepping back, coming into a few undulating cat-cows. Wag your hips from side to side. Are you ready? Plank. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose if it's accessible. Breathe and lift that left leg. Exhale, left knee to left tricep. Pull the left heel over towards the right shoulder. Shakes are good. I'm trembling. And I'm curious to know what happens beyond the tremble. 3, 2, belly lifts, coil it in. 1. We'll set the leg down very intentionally. Still toe the back leg until you find your level of depth. Press into the floor, hips are lifted. Hands come together. One side might feel tremendously different than the other. And so just observe what that is for you. Do you feel balanced? Do you feel a dominancy? This is time for us to get to know ourselves better. Three, 2, and 1. Plant the hands. Roll those toes back. Yay. Finding our way to down dog. Come into a flow. If you're needing a flow, come into child's pose if that is what you're calling for right now. So just stay very respectful and honoring what you need right now. This is a lifetime. We're not winning any awards here, so you don't have to push. Just listen. And then once you finish your down dog, you can come down to your knees. Either crisscross your legs to sit back without your hands. That could be one thing we try today. Or can we do it side saddle, pressing our hands together? This is one of our keys to longevity. Can we get up off the floor and onto the floor without our hands for as long as possible? All right, so we're gonna lie down on our backs. Just invite you to draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Exhale, draw your chin into your chest. Roll the shoulders down. We'll just set the legs, put your arms by your side. We'll just allow the legs. This is often referred to as a windshield wiper. So as the right knee falls open, the left one comes along for the ride. And then the left one initiates the movement, drags the right one along until gravity takes over. Now the right one drives, and the left comes for the ride. Let's do one more set. Feel ready for final rest. You can choose to put your legs on the wall in a Viparita Karani position or Shavasana. If you've never done legs on the wall before, imagine the long edge of my mat is the wall. I'm going to give myself about 3 inches, put myself right there, and then I'll scoop one leg at a time as they rotate. And you can be here. It's nice sometimes if you have a belt, you can bind your legs so you're totally passive, or you can put the soles of your feet together and arms by your side. So you choose your restoration position of choice. Lick your lips, rub them together. Soften something. Coming back into this body scan for sensation. Can you feel your pinky toes? Can you feel the backs of your knees? How about the sternum? space just below the nose and above the lip. That soft flesh behind your earlobes. Notice if the scalp is freely moving away from the skull as you breathe. You begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Swallow. I always like to pretend to yawn. It releases the soft palate and creates a lightness, an open channel through the back of the mouth, up through the crown of the head. Just experiment with that. Oh, deep breath in. Exhale, you're going to roll onto one side. Take a couple breaths to pause there. And breathe first. Move in a way that's initiated by your breath. So breath is the fuel to the movement. Come to a seated position. Just place your hands on the tops of your thighs, palms up. You take a mudra if it's for your practice. This open palm invites receptivity. Just checking in. How do your tissues feel? Just notice them. Is there a heaviness in them? A sense of warmth, or feel more awakened? Just notice what it is. Soft smile, exhale, place your hands at heart center. Namaste.